Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now because what you are about to hear is not just another coin story. It is something that could completely change the way you look at old money sitting inside drawers, boxes, or forgotten collections in your home. Many people watch these videos, get amazed for a moment, and then forget to take action. But those who stay connected, who keep learning, are the ones who eventually discover real hidden value in items they already own. Today we are talking about a very special coin, the 1 Rand 1975 from South Africa. At first glance, it may look like just another old piece of currency, something that once passed through hands in everyday transactions many decades ago. But coins like this carry more than just metal and design. They carry history, rarity, and in some cases, surprising market demand that can turn a simple one. Now think back to the year 1975. South Africa was producing currency with strong metal composition, detailed engraving, and limited circulation in certain forms. The 1 Rand coin from that year represents a period when coin production was different from today. There was more attention to physical durability and less mass digital replacement of currency. That means coins from that era often survived in small numbers, especially in high-grade condition. Here is something most people do not realize. Not every 1 Rand 1975 coin is equal in. Collectors around the world look for these high-grade coins. They study mint marks, strike quality, metal luster, and even small variations that the average person would never notice. This is where opportunity exists, because while millions of people might ignore an old coin, a small group of serious collectors are actively searching for exactly these rare conditions. The 1 Rand 1975 coin also gains attention because it belongs to a time period where South African coinage had strong silver content in earlier years and transitional metal compositions in later years. Even when not made of precious metals, the historical demand creates competition among collectors. And whenever demand meets limited supply, value begins to rise. Now let's talk about what actually drives value in a coin like this. First is rarity. If fewer high-quality examples exist on the market, prices naturally increase. Second is condition grading. Professional grading systems can classify coins from heavily worn to perfect mint state. The difference between these grades can mean the difference between a few dollars and thousands. Third is demand. If collectors from multiple countries want the same coin, bidding wars can happen at auctions, pushing prices far beyond expectations. There is also something emotional involved in coin collecting that many people underestimate. For many older collectors, coins are not just investments. They are memories of past decades, of travel, of history, of personal milestones. That emotional connection often increases willingness to pay higher prices for the right piece. If you are someone who has inherited old coins, or you have a collection stored away for years, this is the moment to pay attention. The 1 Rand 1975 could be sitting unnoticed among them. And while most examples may not reach extreme values, certain rare and well-preserved versions have been known in collector markets to reach surprisingly high auction figures when 2 or more serious buyers compete for them. Another important factor is authenticity and verification. In today's collector world, coins are often evaluated by experts who confirm whether a coin is original, unaltered, and properly preserved. Once verified, the trust in that coin increases, and so does its market appeal. Without verification, even a rare coin may struggle to reach its full potential value. Let's also be practical here. Not every seller will immediately find a buyer at top price. Coin markets move based on timing, demand cycles, and collector interest. Some years bring higher demand, especially when international auctions highlight similar coins. Other times, the market slows down, but the long-term trend for rare historical coins has generally remained strong. For many viewers watching right now, especially those who are 55 years and older, this is not just about money. It is about awareness. It is about recognizing that objects from your past or your family's past might hold unexpected worth today. Many people have coins passed down from parents or grandparents and never took a second look at them. That small box of old currency could be more valuable than expected. The 1 Rand 1975 coin stands as a reminder that history can become value. Something created for everyday use decades ago can transform into a collectible asset in today's global market. And as more collectors enter the field, especially from new countries and online platforms. Interest continues to grow. If you ever come across this coin, do not rush to clean it or alter it in any way. Cleaning a coin can actually reduce its value significantly. Collectors prefer original condition, even if it shows slight aging. That natural surface tells the story of time, and that story is part of what makes the coin desirable. Always handle such coins carefully, preferably by the edges, and store them in protective holders if possible. Small steps like this can preserve value for years to come. Many valuable coins lose their worth simply because they were not stored properly. In the end, knowledge is what separates something ordinary from something valuable. The more you understand about coins like the 1 Rand 1975, the better your chances of recognizing opportunity when it appears in your hands or in your family collection.
Before you go any further, make sure you're subscribed, because what I am about to show you today is not just another ordinary coin story. It is something that has surprised even long-time collectors who have spent decades in the world of rare currency. If you're someone who has kept coins in drawers, old boxes, or inherited small collections from family, then stay with me until the end, because this could completely change the way you look at a simple 1 Rand coin from 1979. Today we're talking about the 1 Rand coin from South Africa, dated 1979. At first glance, it may look like just another piece of old metal that passed through millions of hands during everyday life. But in the world of coin collecting, even the most ordinary-looking coin can sometimes carry a hidden story, and sometimes even hidden value that most people never notice. The South African 1 Rand coin was part of a currency system that represented an important period in the country's economic history. Back in the late 1970s, South Africa was producing coins that were designed for practical use in daily trade. But at the same time, these coins were also built with detailed craftsmanship that collectors today still appreciate. The 1979 version is particularly interesting because it comes from a time when minting processes were more traditional, and small variations or errors could occur during production without being easily detected. Now here is where things start to get interesting for collectors and enthusiasts. Most 1 Rand 1979 coins you find in circulation or in old storage boxes are only worth their face value or slightly more, depending on condition. If the coin is heavily used, scratched, or damaged, its value remains very low in the collector's market. However, if the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in daily transactions and still retains its original shine and detail, then the value begins to increase among collectors. Condition is one of the most important factors in determining the worth of any coin. A coin that looks clean, sharp, and well-preserved can attract more attention from collectors who are willing to pay a premium for quality pieces. But condition alone is not the only factor. Rarity plays an even bigger role. Some 1979 1 Rand coins may have slight variations due to minting differences. These small differences can include alignment issues, minor design shifts, or subtle variations in strike quality. To an untrained eye, these may seem meaningless, but to a serious collector, even the smallest variation can turn a regular coin into something worth far more than expected. Another important factor is demand. Coin collecting is driven heavily by demand in global markets. When collectors around the world start searching for specific years or types of coins, the price can rise quickly. South African coins, especially from older decades, have gained attention from international collectors who appreciate both historical value and limited availability. There is also an emotional side to coin collecting that many people overlook. For older collectors, especially those in the 55 to 65 plus age group, coins are not just about money. They represent memories, history, and a connection to the past. Holding a coin from 1979 can take someone back to a completely different era, a time when life, trade, and currency all felt very different from today's digital world. Now, let's talk about something many viewers are curious about: value. While most 1 Rand 1979 coins are not extremely rare, certain high-grade or special variations can reach surprising prices in collector markets. In typical cases, they may sell for a few dollars to a few dozen dollars, depending on condition and buyer interest. However, the coin world is full of stories, rumors, and extraordinary claims that circulate online, where rare or exceptional versions of coins are sometimes described with extremely high valuations that capture attention and imagination. Collectors often emphasize that true value depends on authentication, grading, and verified rarity rather than viral claims. Professional coin grading services are usually the ones who determine whether a coin is truly exceptional or simply well-preserved. If you ever find a 1 Rand 1979 coin in your possession, the first thing you should do is examine it closely. Look at its edges, its shine, and any unusual markings. Compare it with known, standard versions. If it appears different or unusually well-preserved, it may be worth showing it to a professional coin expert or collector for evaluation. Many people underestimate coins they already own. They keep them in jars, boxes, or old wallets without realizing that even small historical currency items can attract collector interest across different countries. The coin collecting world is global, and South African coins have been gaining more attention over time. It is also important to be cautious. Not every coin that looks old is valuable, and not every online claim about coin prices is accurate. The real value comes from verified collectors, auction results, and professional grading systems. Emotional stories and viral numbers often circulate online, but serious collectors rely on facts, condition, and rarity. Still, what makes coins like the 1 Rand 1979 so fascinating is not just their potential monetary value, but the stories they carry. Each coin has passed through countless hands, transactions, and moments in history. It has witnessed economic changes, political shifts, and everyday life in a completely different era. For many collectors, that alone makes it worth holding on to. So if you have been following along, now you understand that the 1 Rand 1979 from South Africa is more than just a simple piece of currency. It is a historical artifact, a collector's item, and in some cases, a surprisingly interesting piece of the numismatic world that continues to attract attention even today. Before you leave, make sure you're subscribed because in future videos we will uncover more hidden coin treasures that most people overlook, and you might already have some of them sitting at home without even realizing their importance.
Before we dive into today's fascinating coin story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the rich world of coins, history, and hidden treasures. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's take a step back in time. Picture it. South Africa, the year 1967. A year filled with change, challenge, and quiet power. Amidst the political tension and cultural shifts, everyday people went about their lives, handling coins that told silent stories. And in the pockets and purses of citizens, one small yet mighty piece of metal stood out, the 10-cent coin of 1967. This coin might seem small, just another piece of silver-toned currency, but when you really look at it, when you hold it in your hand, it becomes something far more than just 10 cents. It becomes a gateway, a key to the past, a living artifact. The 1967 South African 10-cent coin was part of a series that followed the country's transition from the British-influenced system of pounds, shillings, and pence into the modern decimal system. This decimalization happened just 1 year prior in 1966. So the 1967 coin wasn't just currency. It was a symbol of modernization, a marker of a new era for the country. And for those who lived through that shift, there's no forgetting it. On one side of the coin, you'll see the iconic image of the protea flower, South Africa's national flower. The design is simple, elegant, and unmistakably proud. The lines are clean, the relief deep, and the message clear. This is a coin born of South African soil. The words SUID Africa and South Africa are inscribed in bold around the edge, a reminder of the country's dual linguistic heritage. Flip the coin, and you'll be greeted by the classic image of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch settler often credited with founding Cape Town. His profile appears strong and steady, like a monument carved in metal. His presence on the coin is no accident. It was meant to instill a sense of continuity, of legacy, even as the country changed the way it measured its money. Now, to a young man in 1967, maybe this coin wasn't much. Maybe it bought a newspaper, a loaf of bread, or a quick tram ride. But for the older generation, the ones who remembered the war, who knew the taste of real hardship, this coin held more weight. It wasn't just about what it could buy, but what it represented. Stability in a time of change. Familiarity in the face of progress. That if you're watching this, chances are you remember those times. You remember the smell of fresh bread in the corner shop, the sound of coins clinking on the counter. You remember what 10 cents could actually do. And maybe, just maybe, you've still got one of those 1,967 coins tucked away in an old drawer or hidden in a cigar box, waiting to be rediscovered. But here's where things get interesting. You see, not all coins are created equal. Some are mass-produced, worn down, and forgotten. But others, well, they become treasures. The 1967 10-cent coin, especially in top condition, is one of those hidden gems that collectors seek out, not just for its silver shine or its historical face, but for its story, its symbolism, its scarcity. And that brings us to the heart of this video, the value. That's what everyone wants to know, right? What's it really worth today? But let's hold that thought just a moment longer. Because value isn't always just about money. Sometimes it's about meaning, about the memories that come rushing back when you hold a piece of your past. It's about the feeling of legacy, of something enduring. And in a world that moves faster every day, that's something truly valuable. Still, let's talk numbers. Because while the emotional weight is real, the financial value can be surprising too, especially for a coin like this. Condition matters, rarity matters, and most of all, timing matters. A coin like the 1967 10 cents, if kept in mint or near mint condition, can reach impressive heights in today's collector's market. The truth is, this isn't just a 10-cent coin anymore. For those who know what they're looking for those who understand the coin's historical context, its craftsmanship, its place in a shifting nation, it can be worth far more. Now imagine this, a perfectly preserved 1967 10-cent coin, with its crisp lines, untouched edges, and deep luster. It's not just a collector's item. It's an investment, a prize, a rare find. And today, in top-graded condition, this very coin has been valued at up to 1 million South African rand. Yes, you heard that right. 1 million. A single coin, once worth 10 cents, now potentially worth 1 million. That's not just a story about inflation or scarcity. That's a story about time, patience, and respect for history. Oh, here's the takeaway. If you have one of these coins, don't brush it off. Don't toss it in a jar or forget about it. Take a closer look. Check its condition. Consider its story. Because in your hands, you may not just be holding change. You may be holding a legacy, a fortune, a silent piece of power from a time that shaped us all. And if you've stayed with me until now, I appreciate you. This channel is for people like you. People who understand that behind every old coin is a tale worth telling. If that sounds like you, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because this is just the beginning. We have so much more to uncover, so many more stories to bring back to life.